we're learning of. Granted, we need to hear both sides of the story, like we've been having the conversation all throughout the morning. Well, I'm drawing the attention of the Eastern Regional town of Koforidua to this very important message and asking that they get ready because the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC Ghana, is bringing its flagship investor education program dubbed Time with the SEC right to your doorstep in the Eastern region. The date is Friday the 7th of November 2025 at 8 a.m. sharp at the Central Tabernacle Church of Pentecost, Koforidua. This free event is your chance to understand how to build wealth the right way and protect yourself from fraudulent investment schemes. So come and learn about the role of the SEC as the Securities and Exchanges Commission and how the capital market works, how to save, invest, and plan your personal finances. Also learn about the types of legitimate investment products in Ghana's security market, how to spot and avoid fake investment scams, career options and opportunities in the securities industry, and a lot more. In attendance is a special guest of honor, Rita Akosia J. Awate, the Eastern Regional Minister, the Director General of the SEC, James Krutia Veji, and other key dignitaries. Now, don't miss this opportunity to acquire financial knowledge and secure your future. For registration and enquiries, please call toll-free 0800 0800 100 065 or 0303 961 139. Remember, it is this Friday, the 7th of November, at the Central Tabernacle Church of Pentecost, Koforidua. It starts at 8 a.m. sharp. This event is brought to you by the Securities and Exchange Commission, Ghana, the Securities and Exchange Commission, ensuring investor protection.
3FM Sunrise.
And as we're teaching you how to invest and save your money, let me show you how you can get the money so that you can start investing. It's a season of winning again, and this time we're not just chasing wins, we're collecting them. The luckiest is back again, bigger and better, with chances to change your life. And I'm going to show you 2 easy ways to get in the game. First, that you grab your phone and dial *712#. You choose option 1 to buy a ticket for yourself, or option 2 to buy for somebody else. And if you want the system to generate a lucky ticket for you, go with option 1 again. If you prefer to choose your own ticket number, that's option 2. Confirm your payment with Momo and you're in. The online way, head to theluckiestafrica.com and register. After registration, tap on community tickets to either pick your own lucky number or let the system choose one for you. You can buy a ticket for somebody else as well, and when it's time to pay, use Momo if you're in Ghana or pay with your card if you're abroad. One ticket can multiply your money by 500 times and your entire community could win 10 times and over. This is your golden chance. Hop on, let's get lucky together because luck is everywhere.
3FM Sunrise.
There's been some development on the front of the opposition NPP. Just a really short break, and when we return, we can get into those matters as well. Yeah. It's almost a year since that.
Sandra, turn the camera here.
Oh my goodness.
Cross will continue.
It was engaged in the dance in the campaign dance.
Let Abian play. Let Abian play. Abian should play the song.
Go mama, ready go mama. Johnny Wapa, ready go mama. Yeah, boys go pay. Already, that's why I am fancy. That's why I am fancy. I'm a
I'm misbehaving greatly, but I mean, hot on the front burner for the NPP is they cannot just seem to go out of the news for the very bad reasons. Prof has joined us on the telephone line as well. Professor Enoch Opoku-Entwi is a governance expert, political commentator as well on this subject matter. I'll go to Prof shortly, but just two quick thoughts from the both of you as to what it is that we heard and the rebuttals from the party's national executives, even before we go on to our guests on the phone line. So I'll start off with you, Sixus.
I think that was unfortunate. There should be no circumstance under which you would seek to describe Alhaji the manner in which he was described. It's disrespectful. It's unkind. It's not fair to Alhaji. Alhaji is a stranger, but he's worked far more than a lot of the people in the party. I dare say that Alhaji single-handedly brought President Akufo-Addo to power,
right,
with the campaign. I mean, I'm not talking about financing. I'm talking about
on the
campaign.
Ground and the economic lectures.
Alhaji was the face of the Nanado election campaign. Alhaji was the banger, the change maker. He was the magic wand in Nanado campaign. Alhaji was the one who single-handedly gave President Mahama and the NDC that discomfort.
Yeah, it was their biggest nightmare.
He was their biggest nightmare. That's the word I was struggling to look for. See, Alhaji was the biggest nightmare of the Mahama campaign. So I don't know how you wake up one day and decide that because your own person is contesting him for flag bearer, you want to speak anyhow about him. It's disrespectful. It's unkind. It's unfair. And all the strangers in the party should begin to then take
a cue from this.
Before you go to him, the former national chairman of the NPP, he's also a stranger. Freddie Blay.
Yeah, I mean,
he's also a stranger. He was CPP.
Yeah.
He was a CPP member of Parliament.
Caucused with the NPP.
Caucused with the NPP.
And then in 3 years,
they started. Nanado started his fight with the national chairman and secretary at the time. Afoko. Afoko was removed. Freddie Blay became acting national chairman. Subsequently went to win the election as national chairman and stayed on for 2 terms, I believe. Yeah, 2 terms. He came from CPP. We lost him to you.
where we use it because quickly and before I
just
get to the guests on the phone lines.
Nobody should think that while Dr. Bawumia was doing all of what he did for the NPP, it did not come at a great cost to him. This is somebody who was excelling in his private life as an economist, as somebody who's working around money and all of that. Imagine if he had gone into the docket when the NPP was in court challenging the election results.
2016.
Imagine if he did not perform creditably well. That would have been the end of his yet to start political career. And then it would have repercussions on his person, in his private life as a financial analyst, a financial economist, all of that. So nobody should really think he got anything on a silver platter. Everybody was running away from being in the docket. You and I were not there. Everybody was running away from that. But Dr. Bawumia,
and he displayed brilliance in court.
So well. He did so well for the party. And then after that, he had the chance to leave the NPP, to leave Nanado, go and look for another thing to do because I want to become vice president. It didn't work. I'll go and look for money somewhere. he stayed with you, he worked with you, and then he brought you back, and then you come and say that he's an outsider. Then what does it take to become an insider?
An insider.
Should I kill myself for you before you know that?
But everybody is an outsider anyways.
Prof, thank you very much for joining us, as well as Mr. Achiao. I appreciate the both of you joining us on the phone line this morning.
Yes, it's a pleasure being here. Good morning to the panelists and the listeners everywhere in the world.
Great. Prof, I'll start off with you because my colleagues in the studio have already started the conversation as to the use of the word outsider amongst many other things. And was there miscommunication, you'd say, or these are true intentions of some persons within the NPP being laid bare in a contest that continues to be filled with a lot of acrimony?
Thank you once again. I think that when a fight, you are overwhelmed by a fight, then you begin to bite. And that is what I'm seeing here, where they say that Bawumia is a stranger in NPP. He's not a stranger, he belongs. Culturally, he's connected to the Dombo tradition. When it comes to meaning, he's VP for 8 years. Remember the pink sheet when Nanadu went to court, he was there to defend the party. Every economic forum questions that when NPP was in opposition, he was leading the quest, asking a lot of questions about the economy. So he has paid his dues in NPP, and there's no stranger in a political party, because in politics, it's the moment that brings somebody. I'll give you 2 or 3 examples. When Ronald Reagan went to the Republican Party from the Democratic Party, and they asked him why he left, he said, I did not leave the Democratic Party. The party left me because their values have changed. And that is why I joined the Republican Party. He went ahead to become a president from the Republican Party. We know Hillary Clinton was a Republican. When she switched to a Democrat, look at where she was. She was a presidential candidate. Donald Trump himself was a Democrat. And then he switched to become a Republican. So in the advanced world, it doesn't matter whether you switch from political party A to B. It is the values that you align with. But here, people say all sort of things. But what I see is that I'm not inspired. And I think that many Ghanaians are also not inspired by these words that they are using against Dr. Bawumia, because where is the joy, peace, and freedom in joining NPP now? If somebody thinks that because they came in earlier, you are an outsider, that is not how politics works. And I also want to say that it's not about life and death when you are campaigning to be a leader of a political party. So they need each other, both hand in hand. And if only they want each other and build that kind of friendship and political support, it will help their party, because all that they need is each other. After all, having they chosen to be in the same political party, one philosophy and ideology.
And perhaps I'll go to Mr. Achiao, because you are the communications expert, and I've seen persons within the Ken camp say that, look, this is not what he meant. He's been misquoted because he was just providing an analogy to an extent and not stating that this individual is an outsider or what have you. You understand when language is being used and there's communication being undertaken. Where do you stand on that argument or that rebuttal coming through from some members of the Ken camp or from the MP's camp himself?
Right. Thank you so much this morning. And I also want to say a good morning to the good people of Ghana and our listeners. And a good morning to my Vice Chancellor, my Pro-Vice Chancellor, my UTAG members. And then also a good morning to our panel members, Dr. Nyahotamakulu, and then my senior colleague, Professor. Yes. So for me, as the Prof said, there is nothing like outsider when it comes to politics. At the end of the day, as you rightly stated, you need someone to come in to help your political party to actually achieve your aim, which is get the power to become the ruling government and then do what you can do. And if you're able to bring people in, and then at the end of the day, you brand such people as outsiders, they are not outsiders. under no circumstance will they be seen as outsiders. Well, as you mentioned, the aspect of communication, I've always said this here and I'll say it again. I think that our politicians really need to be trained on how to make their statement, how to give comments, how to respond to comments, and especially when they are with the media. Myself and you, in our business, in the media space, if care is not taken, you can easily be framed because an agenda will be set based on what you have said. So for me, if you have to go into details, I don't know if there will be a question to go into those details, but then there's nothing like an outsider when it comes to political parties.
I mean, the details is perhaps one of the reasons why we were, because when I was going through the conversation with my colleague Crosby earlier in the morning, I was like, I may have missed it. Was it a direct calling of the individual? He drew my attention to the fact that there was an analogy which was seeking to speak to in the olden times when you bring somebody from. So perhaps you want to help us in that regard.
Okay, great. Yeah, so yes, he tried to link it to tradition and then the Akan tradition and someone serving in, that is, serving a king and the person not being qualified to actually take up the throne and all that. But you see, when it comes to issues like this in politics, yes, tradition is rooted in it. And if we need to go into tradition. Now, I'll give you these examples, which are very known to all of us. Yes, he tried to say that is not what he said. He situated his issue in a particular context, but at the end of the day, he came back to say that yes, the problem or Alhaji Bawumia is one of the reasons why the NPP party is suffering. Now, what is the statistic I want to put out here? Former President Jerry John Rawlings, he brought in the former president of blessed memory as well, John Evans Atamils. But are we saying that John Evans Atamils, as of the time, was one of the strong pillars of the NDC? No, he wasn't. Dr. Atamils also brought in John Dramani Mahama. Are we saying that John Dramani Mahama, as of the time, was one of the strong pillars within the NDC? No. Now we all know that as of the time, the current Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagman, we have people like Ekos Biogabra. These are pillars who have been in the NDC party. These people were there even before the John Mahamas and then of blessed memory, John Evans Atamils. But what happened? So it's about they are part of the party. So if we are even looking at tradition, then he should, maybe he's looking at only the chieftaincy aspect of it. But this is not chieftaincy. They are looking at government ruling a whole country. And when it comes to a political party, there is nothing like somebody being next in line. It is about who is supposed to do the work well. And the first person who was talking, I can't pick out the name, but the person mentioned that Dr. Bawumia did a lot of work to help the NPP to come win their elections in 2016. And that is a known fact. So if some of these things happen, then we really need to look at it and be very cautious when it comes to linking. So you see, when you do that, when you say that, yes, they have been, in his analysis, he made mention of long service. And he mentioned some of the northerners within the NPP party. Yes, that is fine, but we are not doing long service when it comes to ruling a political party. And as a strategy, when it comes to wanting to win power, you look at all these things. So if you look at it and say that he was nowhere, yes, he was nowhere, but they brought him in, and then he came to do his job. He has a space. He says that he thinks that he should have exited for other people to come in. That is his personal view. But there is nothing like he's an outsider. He's not been in the party for too long, for which reason he doesn't qualify to be the running that is the flag bearer of the political party. No. We need to look at this from this very context. It is politics you are doing. And politics, you need to look at how you strategize to get everyone on board. Comments like this, I'm happy, yes, the Ashanti Regional Caucus released their communique distancing themselves from the position of the MP. Now, you see, the MP says he didn't say that, but the Ashanti Regional Caucus are saying that we do not subscribe to that. Then it tells you that the import of the comments the MP made suggests that just as the radio stations captured it. That is what he suggests. Unless, of course, he wants to put it in a different context. But even in trying to defend his comments, he says that long service. That is, you are still saying that the person just came in not long ago. But in our account dialect, yes, who is supposed to lead will lead regardless. There is something we call someone who is destined to lead. Like John Mahama came in. As I said, our Bagwins and the rest were there. But as part of his destiny and being part of the party, and the fact that he had to do what he had to do to make sure that the destiny comes to play, he got it. So they really need to look at it. The NPP, for me, yes, they have come out with a clear roadmap that we do not subscribe to this ethnic and all that, but they really need to look at it. But yes, there is nothing like an outsider when it comes to issues of politics.
Right.
And I agree with Prof.
Prof, let me return to you on the subject matter of where this leaves the party. And I know we've been having this conversation time without number in the last few weeks when fresh matters come up. But in the circumstances as we have it, we've seen people make very disparaging comments in the past. The party was expected to have taken some action. They didn't. Are we seeing the repetition because no clear action is being taken on any individual who continues to throw the party into very bad spotlight ahead of the January 31 primary?
Yes, this is a great question. I think that people are asking about protective rules that guides this campaign. So where are the protective rules? Where are the elders in the party that they can't stop this? And we all know that things just don't happen. They happen just because of the mystery of political campaign. And this has been the true of unreason in NPP. So it's a time of unreason in NPP because the arguments, the numbers, the campaign messages, the theory, the practice, the reinventing, the rejuvenation, and the rebuilding, the top-down adopted presidential candidate election, and the upside-down implications are very telling on the party. I've even seen some prophets prophesying that Ken will win. Spiritually, he has already won. And if he doesn't win physically, there will be division in the party and NPP will collapse. Prophet Roger said that, was it yesterday or 3 days ago? And I was listening and thinking that what is happening in NPP? You went to a position not even 1 year. And then there are insults and there are all sorts of things happening. So toxic an environment. So I think that if care is not taken, because NDC has taken a comfortable lead, in competitive democracy for our fourth republic, NPP need to sit down and think that they need each other. This is just a contest. And they need to work on it so that nothing untoward will happen to the party. Don't forget that UP has also started, which is a root tradition of NPP. And then we have the contestant also insulting each other and bringing all these kind of tribalism into it. And Yebe Mwache, we've been here for a long time. If you go to our churches, if you go to our mosques, the Yebe Mwache people sometimes become a problem for everybody. They are not leading and they will not allow the people who have come in with new energy and momentum and knowledge to lead the party, and I think that is what we should work on in NPP.
I think perhaps I'll ask the same question of you as well, Mr. Chiao, in moving this conversation on, because I, for one, have sat here and had conversations about what needs to change, what needs to happen. There's a real danger that no matter or depending on who wins, the party could be in serious trouble as to going into the 2028 elections.
Yes. So then the issue is that, yes, definitely one of them will win. The party will have to strategize and be ready to work with, ready to come together as a body and work to support whoever wins. They should understand that one. So, yes, those who are supporting X or Y, that is fine, but they should get that understanding right from now. In my last discussion with your radio, I mentioned that the party should be looking at bringing all the big pillars within the party together for them to work as a body. Then they can be assured of the kind of the victory they are working out for, at least in 2028? Well, for me, I think that they started by being able to. I read on radio that Paul Afoko has intentions of contesting for the chairmanship. If that is true,
he has actually confirmed he's seeking to want to. Yeah.
Okay, that is fine. So then it will be a good step for the party, but they have a lot to do because I mentioned the other time they have a lot of things now in the MP's comments. If only you have listened to it, I listened to it very well. The last part he mentioned mafia. He used the word mafia. I don't know if you have listened to it, but he used the word mafia and he associated that one to. He linked that one to the way Alan Chairmantin was treated. Now you see that is where the point is. They should be able to go back to these strong pillars within the party and then make sure that they work together. And they should understand that right after their Congress, whoever wins, they have to bring all these people together. But you see, if you continue with some of these ethnic and some of these tribal comments, wanting to state clearly that I have been in the party for too long, I have been here for 10 years, for which reason I am the next in line. When should that happen, then I'm sorry, the kind of objective they wanting to actually come back to power in 2028, it may not come to fruition. It may not see the light of day. They need to work together as a body. But these tendencies, as I said, if only they're able to do that, it's easier said, but getting it done, they need to actually work on it and talk to people and all that. Now that even there's an introduction of the UP, the United Party and all that, it shows clearly that the cracks are gradually deepening. But they can work it out because you never say never. They need to be ready to accept and agree that, yes, we had issues. Whoever, this is not the time to be shifting the blames. Like in the comments of the MP, he rightly stated that Dr. Alhaji Baumia is part of the reasons why the party has issues and all that. If you stand on those tangents, these kind of commentaries, it tells the public, it tells the voters that there are issues. You should know the floating voters, they will always make their decisions based on several issues
of these issues.
And those are the ones they should target. And those people, they will only be convinced if you are giving them a good reason. But if you are not giving them good reasons and you keep on throwing some of these tantrums, this one is this is that, it's about money, it's about this, somebody has not served, somebody from this village and that village, then it becomes a problem. That is not how a political party works.
Right.
Whatever it is, they need to find ways of solving their internal issues. And then I think that they can make it if they do.
Right then, Mr. Stephen Osacha, I appreciate you speaking to us. I'll give the final word to Prof on this particular subject matter. Party distance in itself, but I mean, we both know that it should go beyond this.
Well, my final word is that it's good that the party has distanced itself from this because it's in a bad taste. It is also prudent that the elders in the party will also come and condemn it. Because if this is being done to Dr. Baumia, then what will the others who want to join later the party, what will happen to them? So it's a no-no in politics for somebody to say that somebody is a stranger in that party. What makes you a citizen and somebody a stranger in the political party? It's all about numbers. And if you are having the numbers, and you know Dr. Baumia, not only that, but financially, he talked about money he has raised to buy cars and other things for the party. So he's a great asset to the NPP party, and they should not treat him that way. Yes, I understand it's campaign time, and people will say all sort of things just to, energize the base and then get some votes. But they should be very careful with the kind of words they use, because in the end, it could bring division, and then that will never be able to be repaired, and that will hurt the party badly.
Prof, I appreciate you speaking to us as well this morning, for always picking the phone when we call. That's Professor Inokupuku as well, picking or sharing his thoughts in relation to the development as have come through this morning. It's time for us to draw the curtains, but there are some birthdays. Quickly, we need to get out of the way. If today is your birthday, a happy birthday to you from all of us here at 3FM, and we're wishing you lots of joy, happiness, and God's good. Happy